Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Let's start a new topic, and that is about the HTML. As we know, HTML stands for hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. We call it language, but probably the best way to describe HTML is that it's not a programming language. It is actually a scripting language. It's actually a scripting language. The building blocks of HTML is tags and the attributes. First of all, let me clear the concept of tags and attributes. What actually is a tag? What are the child tags? What is the root tag or the parent tag? And how many types of tags are there? Then we will come up to the concept of attributes. Now these are the building blocks of creating an HTML page. But first of all, let me clear one thing, that for what purposes we are using the HTML. We know that we are surrounded by millions of web pages. All the web pages are rendered to the browsers. I mean, they are displayed to the browsers, and the browser understands, or I should say, recognize one language. That language is what HTML is. HTML is probably basically made for these browsers to understand the text, the images, and their styles, how they are displayed on a web page. So if this is the browser, we have got, I suppose this is not Edge, this is Internet Explorer. Oh no, this is Edge. Definitely, yes, it is Microsoft Edge. This is a browser, and you have got different type of browsers associated with you. One of the browser, you have got the Google Chrome and all that stuff. First of all, let's take a good look on this browser. First, understand this is the address bar, or where you put your URL. Second, this is the title bar, or this is the title where you got that title tags of web pages. The third part is this area, this where right now it says you are not connected. This area, this white space, this is the body of this web browser. Now this web browser understands and displays things according to the HTML tags. So should I say it like this, that this browser or any browser understands a language called as HTML. Now how a page will look, or how a page is designed, it depends how its HTML was designed. Simple. Now let me check two things here. We saw the title, we saw the body, right? This is the title, this is the body, and this is the URL, that means the address of that web page. Fine. Web pages when designed, we have to take care of these HTML tags. So how is this HTML page, how we start this HTML page, what sort of softwares we require, what sort of hardware we require? Simply hardware is nothing except your laptop or your desktop. And the second thing is that is the best thing of it, that you don't require any software, a compiler or some software to download to compile the HTML code, because browser itself understands it and parse the code. Now what we require, we just require a simple notepad or just any editor at beginning, which can where we can write the HTML tags. This is the first requirement of ours. The second requirement is we should know the HTML tags and the syntax associated with it, right? So these are the two basic requirements, or we should say the prerequisite, that you should know before writing any code inside in HTML. Now, how to start your HTML? Oh, I forgot to mention the third part of it. The third part of this is save your HTML file, or I should say save your notepad file which contains HTML tags with an extension of .html, and here we go. So let's apply the three concepts to understand the concept of HTML. So first is the notepad and editor. We will have to write the notepad, which is available to everyone. You don't require to download or anything else with this. The second thing is know the HTML tags. First of all, before knowing the HTML tags, let's take look how a tag looks like. So tags are of actually two types, basic two types of tags are there. One is this type of tag. This is, if I will write tag 1, and it has got a closing tag like this, a / with the same name as it was written before. So tag 1. These tags in HTML are predefined. That means the browser knows for what purpose this tag was used. So like so this is one type of tag, and in between the two tags, the starting tag and the closing tag, there comes the data, right? This is one type of tag. The second type of tag is like this. There you start a tag and it close inside it. It's closed, so there is no data part associated with it. Fine. So the third type of tag can be like, there is a tag 1 and there is a closing of tag 1, and inside this tag there are the child tag. And inside this tag there is a child tag that is closed like this, child tag. Fine. And the fourth type of tags, so this is tag style 1, this is tag type 2, and this is the tag type 3. So there are three types of tags, or three set of tags you will see in HTML. One is this one is this one, and another is this one. One more type of tag style is that you have got a tag 1, fine, and there is a closing tag, closing of tag 1, and inside this tag there can be the data, any set of data, and there can be the child tags, child tag 1, and there is the closing of child tag 1, and inside this child tag there is the child data. Fine. This is the one more set of tags you may see inside your HTML. right? So we have four types of tags available inside HTML. One is those sort of tags which have got a starting and a closing tag, and there is the data inside it. The second type of tag, which is called as the empty tag, that is there is no closing tag outside the starting tag. This is the tag 2. And the tag style third is that there is a tag, and inside tag there's not the data, there's directly the child tags. And the tag style 4 is there is a tag, and inside the tag there is data as well as the tags. So these are the four set of tags available to us. So are they predefined? Yes, I should share few things with you, like that HTML, and I should say most of the HTML tags are predefined. That means that browser understands for what purpose you have used them. Fine. Now what we can create or what we can make after using these tags, we will definitely create a web page. And if you will be good in it, you will definitely create a website. Okay, so any website that has HTML only associated with it, we call that website as a static website. Fine. So at least we will be in a condition to create our static websites. Static website is that sort of website where you have got design of pages onto these browsers. Fine. And there is no database and other data data related programming associated with it. So let me simply do one thing. Let's start to create a simple HTML tag. So what I did is I took my notepad and I will start to create my first web page. So I will increase the font so that you will see it properly. Okay, fine. So this is my simple notepad, nothing to do. First, save your page. For saving a page, you can use any area of your computer. So I am using the desktop, and I will create a new folder where I will say my HTML code. Fine. And inside this HTML code I will store this file. So how to store this file or how to save this file, I will say it as my site dot, don't forget to mention HTML here, and try to save this file as all files. So it is my site dot HTML, and I'm saving it. And there is nothing on this notepad file right now. So let's start building this HTML code. So how we are going to start, say, because we have to start with these tags, there should be a starting tag and a closing tag. This is the starting tag of HTML and this is the closing tag of HTML. Fine. So this is what sort of tag? A tag, a starting tag and a closing tag. What can be inside it? There can be the data, that is our this one, or there can be the third part, a tag with the child tags, or there can be the fourth part, that is tag with data and the child tags. But it is not this sort of tag because it's not closing over here. There is an area where you have to write the code. So this HTML tag is a predefined tag which contains every tag which you will write inside your HTML code. Fine. So let's start the second part of it. So the basic three tags which I am going to mention over here. One is the head tag, and it is also it has also the starting head tag and the closing of this head tag. Now there is the second part, it is the title tag. Title tag, the start of title tag and the close of title tag, and the third thing is that there is the body tag. It is the start of body and the close of body tag. Fine. So the moment you will save this file, the moment you will run this file, this title tag data which you will write over here, you will see that data in this area, and this body tag data you will see this area which will be targeted by the body tag. Now don't mix up, because I have seen many people thinking that this head tag means that this part. No, that's not the case. This head tag has nothing to do with this URL or the head part of this tag. Fine. So what is the purpose of this head tag? Inshallah, in later lectures we will clear that also. Fine. So just I will take one more step, that is I will took this title tag and I will put them inside this head tag. This. So inside the head tag there is the title tag. So I should say it like this: inside the HTML tag there are multiple tags. Fine. So this HTML tag becomes the root tag, and inside this head tag there is one more tag called as title tag, and title becomes the child of head tag, or I should say the head tag becomes the parent of the title tag. Now there is the body tag. This body tag is that it will target this area, and this area is going to target and used, this area is going to be used or you should say targeted, this area will be targeted by this body tag. Fine. So let's see our first approach, or let's see our first file which we are going to run onto this browser. Fine. So let me write here, welcome to online classes. Fine. Now this body tag is similar to this tag, I should say it is similar to this tag, starting tag, data, and the closing tag. This is starting tag, data, and the closing tag. Fine. But this HTML tag looks like this tag, or I should say it looks like this tag: the tag, then the child tag, then the tag close. This tag, HTML tag, the child tags, and the closing tag. Fine. So let me save it. Let me go to the desktop part of my laptop. Desktop, this is my HTML code. You can see the moment you store your or you saved your file as .html, it has got the logo of a browser which is the default browser, and you will see that logo over here. You can use any browser, like I am going to right click here, I should say open it with help of your Microsoft Edge. Fine. And this is what you got: welcome to online classes. Which part of tag it is? This is the body tag. And where is my title? Okay, I haven't written anything inside title. Okay, let me first write something inside this title. So this is NIIT online classes, or I should say NIIT online. Fine. Save it. You don't have to run it again. Go to the browser, refresh the page, you will see here it comes, NIT Online. Fine. So you have seen that this is the NIT Online over here, that is the title part of it. This is the welcome to online classes, this is the body part of it. So browser knows everything about like which tag is used for what purposes. Now the second thing is, can we make it a more can we make it more attractive, more beautiful? Yes, why not? So that is what we call as formatting our data. So formatting or rendering our data, or styling our data, we require another tags. For example, I want to make bold, I want to make this text bold. How to make it bold? Use the tag starting tag and put this data inside that, inside its closing tag. For example, this tag which makes your text bold is called as the B tag, and making sure that I am using the lowercase b and I'm closing an uppercase b. Fine. Let me think, or let me see whether your HTML whether your browser will understand this, whether your browser is a case sensitive, or it will it is not the case sensitive part. Fine. So let me save this and let me refresh this page. You can see that your text was in a regular shape, now it is in a bold shape. Fine. So that means for a browser it hardly matters whether you have used an uppercase or a lowercase, but the best thing is that you should maintain the symmetry between the tags. Fine. Because one more I should say one more scripting language that's called as XML language, that language won't accept your that case insensitive part. Fine. So this is how it gets bold. So can we, it is on the corner side, left corner side of my body or browser, can we make it like to the right side of it or to the center of it? Okay, fine. What you have to do? Simple. Apply the tag. So which tag it is? It is the center tag, and the center tag will get closed here. Fine. But maintain one thing, that the tag which is in the start should get closed at the last, or I may take it like this. It may be easy to understand. This is the indentation part of it, that this HTML starts over here, it closes here. This is the body tag here, and it closes, it starts here, it closes here. This is the center tag here, this closes over here. Fine. So let me check first the now save this part and refresh the page. You will see your text was shifted to the center of the page. Fine. This is how your HTML tags will work. Now what you have to do, the simplest approach, or I should say the simplest thing what you can do is remember the tags, which tag is doing what sort of thing. Fine. So this is I hope you got my point. What do you understand? What do you mean by tags? The second part of the same concept, it was the tags, and you got that point. Now the second part is the attributes. Fine. So let me take care of these attributes now. Attributes. Attribute is actually the word which means the property. Okay, which means the property of anything, like I should say a student. What are the attributes associated with it, sir? it is the roll number, it is the uh, age, it is the semester, something like that. So these all attributes are associated with the student. What if there is no student available? So they are of no use. These attributes are of no use, or I should say they are not existing anymore. Fine. So the main crux of the story is that a tag, any tag which you have created, like we say the body tag, this body tag may have its own properties which will only be applied to the body tag only. Fine, which will be only applied to this body tag. So let me have a attribute over here, like body here means, body for us here means this area. Fine. So let me do one thing, let me take this body tag and let me apply the property. Where to apply the property? It should be the starting tag of, for example, this is the head tag, this is the starting tag, this is the HTML tag, this is the starting tag, and this is the center tag, it is the starting of this center. So any tag which is the starting tag of its tags, you have to mention, or you have to have a space over here and then mention the property name first. Like there is a property called as bgcolor, bg color, equivalent to double quotes I say red. So what is this bg color red stand for? It means the background color, and it is only associated with this body tag. It has nothing to do with this HTML tag, it has nothing to do with this head or the title tag. Fine. So this property only belongs to the body tag, and I know the body means this area, so it will be applied to this area. Fine. So let me store it, let me check whether it gets applied or not. So refresh the page. Here we go. Fine. So this is applied to the body tag only. Fine. So you won't find a red color over here because this is the title tag and you haven't applied this bg color to this. Now are these attributes? So this is one of the attribute, so if you have got the second attribute, so I may mention second attribute, second attr attribute equivalent to some value over here, some value. Fine. So this will be the second attribute associated with the body tag. So there are two attributes associated now. One is this and another is this one. This is just a dummy over here, and I'm erasing it. So there can be multiple attributes associated with a single tag. Fine. So save it, check it. So the simplest approach to HTML, a plain HTML page, is remember the tags and its attributes. Remember the tags, remember the tags and know the functionality of a particular tag. The moment you will be able to do this, I hope you will do you will create your static web pages really very quickly. Fine. But these are the basic steps. We know in expert level or in the intermediate levels we have to change a lot of things, but this is the basic, this is the fundamental things what every HTML page will look like. Fine. So let me consider a few more tags over here. Like this is the bold tag. After the center tag, look, I came out of the center tag, and this body tag, I'm still inside this body tag but out of the center tag, and out of the center tag I created something like, oh, I will create it over here, like here, before the center tag. So the first tag inside the body tag for me is the h1 tag, and I will close this h1 tag here, and inside this h1 tag I say NIIT. Fine, save this, apply this by refreshing your page. Here you go. So you can see that this NIIT is much bigger than welcome to online classes, because I have applied the h1 tag with this NIIT data. So this h1 means what? It means the headings. So are there other h1 tag or h tags available? Yes. So like I can show you something like this: h2, h3, h4, h5. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this 2, this 3, this is 4, this is 5, and maybe the next one, this is this. This is, save it, run it, and you can see the change in the font size. These are the heading levels what you can get. So this is NIIT, 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 and NIIT. This is because of these h tags. So there are 6 tags available to you, or 6 heading levels associated with this HTML. Fine. So what sort of heading you require, what level of heading you require, you can use the respective hashtag with that. Fine. One more tag we have here is our p tag. P tag stands for an area where you write the data, simply a paragraph tag. Fine. So this is what I say, my first paragraph here. Fine, save it, write it, and it will look like a simple text. This is, but you can check one thing, that center tag and the bold tag is not applied to these 2 tags because they are out of the center tag. This is only applied to this data. Fine. So this is how you should know the tag concepts. I hope you got the concepts really very well. This is the basic concept or the basic building block of your HTML pages. Inshallah, we will see in next days to come that how we are going to style all this HTML with different things and with different approach. Fine. So I can apply one more attribute to this. I think there is a body tag where you added an attribute called as bg color. Let me add one more attribute. This attribute is a bit different than what you have seen over here. This attribute for me is style attribute. Fine. This style attribute has got a value. Definitely it should be having a value. That's why I put 2 that double quotes over here, starting quote and closing quote over here. Fine. And inside this starting and closing quote, what I did is I used the word called as height, height, then colon, then say 50 px stands for pixels, 50 pixels. Then I use the terminate, then I use the color color, color, colon, I say green. Right. So you can check how I managed to write this property. So this is my data, this is the starting tag, This is the closing tag, this is starting tag of paragraph. So a paragraph here contains a property, contains an attribute called as style, and inside this style I use two tags or two properties. One is the height, that is this one, a height of 50 pixels. Then I terminated this property, and the color of green type. Fine. So let me see the impact of this attribute. So I refresh this page, you can see, check over here, now the color has changed. So do you mean that the moment we apply a style tag and we apply certain constraints to it, it will be applied to my first paragraph here? Yes, definitely yes. So can we apply this style tag to anything? Yes, we can use it, apply it to anything. Fine. Let me show you one more tag that is called as the div tag. Div is nothing, it is nothing, just an area, just an area. Okay, so let's save this, just run this. So you can see that after applying this div tag, nothing happened over here. You won't see anything happening over here because div is just an area, and you haven't mentioned which area it is. You haven't mentioned what is the size of that area. You haven't mentioned what is the height and width of this area. You haven't mentioned what the color that area is. Fine. So let me apply the style part to that div part. Okay, that div tag. Now this div over here, we will apply a style part to it, or style attribute to it, equivalent to it has the same thing, the height property with the value height of say 200 pixels, and terminate, and width width colon with 200 or say 300 pixels, then terminate, and I will use the back ground dash color color as black. Fine, and I terminated it. So what I did, I had a tag, that is the div tag, and there is no data inside this div tag. So this is an empty div tag right now, no data inside it, but I applied an attribute to that tag. Fine, that attribute starts with the quote and closes with the quote, and inside that there are three parts of it. One is the height, one is the width, one is the background color, and I set the values to all of them. So what I did is that div is an area which has got a height of 200 pixels, a width of 300 pixels, and the background color is black. So save this tag, refresh the page, you should see it somewhere over here. Have I forgot anything? I think yes, I have forgot something. So let it write something here. This is the area of div. Let me check it first. This is the area, and something went wrong over here applying the style to it. So this is the 200 pixels, width is 300 pixels, and background dash color. It is here. This is the colon. That's why that background color was not applying. This is the area for you. This is the area which I mentioned. 200 should be the height, 300 should be the width. You can see the height is smaller than the width because there is a difference of 100 pixels, and why data is not showing, because the color of the data is black simply. So you can apply this part, the paragraph, with this color tag. Fine. So this is the area, so we don't require actually this thing. So that means this is the area which we are which we have designed. Yes, this is the area, and this area is what we call as the div. Fine. So you can find that this is not too that difficult. This is not too difficult to see the things. Inshallah, in next lectures we will clear all this, all these style theories, associated with HTML. How messy will this HTML page will get, and how to make it, in different files. And inshallah, that will be in next coming lectures. Hope you will enjoy this video, and this is the first video regarding HTML. And inshallah, actually, our main topic is HTML5, but before we will go to the HTML5 part of it, we should know the basics of HTML first. Fine. Inshallah, in next lecture. See you soon. Khuda Hafiz. Allah Hafiz. Take care.